What's up, everybody? I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers, bringing you your daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor, and Atlas. And they're there for you in the description to this video, so go ahead and check out their pages. Today, we're from the desk. We had a staff meeting today, so I'm just going to be giving you your severe weather report from here. Starting out with some rain, moving off to the east. That was all that snow that hit the Rocky Mountains earlier. Now it's making its way through the plains. And so we're going to kind of see a soggy end to your work week with all of that. But tomorrow and into Sunday, potential to see more severe weather picking up in Florida and on the East Coast. Tornadoes and high winds are both going to be the primary threats. So we'll talk about the where, when, and why, of course. And then getting into the end of the show, we're at number 1 in our countdown, guys. 2023's costliest storm events. We've done all of the top 10 thus far, so go ahead and check out the end of every forecast video for the past 10 days, and you can find out more about those. But we're on number 1 now, so got that coming up at the end of the show. But first, guys, thank you again so much for 10,000 followers on our YouTube page. We are blown away. We're so excited here. Hail Trace is a small company. If you don't know much about us, we were a startup back in 2010. We do hail mapping and forensic reports. And we've had these broadcasts going for the past few years. So we are just so thankful for 10,000 followers on our page. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and click that button and hit the notification bell to get all of our updates. We do daily live forecasts for you every weekday, Monday through Friday at noon Central Time. So more of that to come. And then we're also in Weathering the Storm. It's this YouTube series put out by Atlas, and so it's on their roofing YouTube page. If you guys want access to that, there's episodes 1 through 7 out now. So go ahead and check it out. It's all sorts of storm chasing content. Derek is a crazy storm chaser. He goes and chases tornadoes, hurricanes, tries to get into the core of any hailstorms. So he's got some cool content, and they tie in roofing there as well to talk about, you know, how their roofing products measure up to Derek's storm chasing. So lots more cool stuff there. Now into our weather, guys. There's all those snow reports out in the Rocky Mountain areas of New Mexico and Colorado from all of that mess that hit yesterday. But then we've got this low pressure zone that is swinging through the central U.S. and brought all sorts of rain to Oklahoma City. Now getting rain picking up in Dallas-Fort Worth area, moving out of Wichita, and that's going to continue to trek across the Mississippi Valley into later. Down in the coast, we do have an area of some precip cloud cover getting ready to interact with that line of storms moving through, and so we'll see, again, more severe weather potential picking up in Florida and on the East Coast here soon with all of those systems tracking through. So here's kind of our upper level system, if you guys want to take a look at that. Overall, temperature-wise, it's really nice in the southeast, sitting in the low to mid-50s, and we got some 40s if you guys are, you know, in the middle of this low pressure system. There it is right there. Got some cooler temperatures in and above that. But overall, the south is pretty nice, and, you know, that instability moving into the Florida area with the peninsula sitting in the mid-70s could get some severe weather into later. So here's what it looks like going into the weekend. All right, so noon on Saturday, potential to see some storms tracking into the Florida peninsula early through midday. Most of those are going to be on the lower end. Now, severe potential is going to pick up later on into the afternoon, and then more so in the overnight hours. There we are by 8 p.m. The center of this low pressure system is now moving onshore. With that, we'll tend to see more rotation potential in those storms, and so we get a higher tornado potential as well. But in addition to tornadoes and high winds, tons of rain moving across Florida and the southeast for your Saturday and your Sunday. So here's a look at those future wind gusts as well across Florida. already going to be a pretty windy day in general, but then we'll see things picking up more again into the overnight, like after dark hours. So there you go, by 10 p.m. starting to see some 50+ mile-an-hour gusts moving in and picking up across Georgia and South Carolina into your Sunday, where the risk will continue there. So for tomorrow, for your wind forecast, anywhere from like Jacksonville, like the Florida-Georgia border there, all the way down into Miami, could see some severe winds, 60, maybe 70 mile-an-hour gusts here or there. Tampa, Melbourne, Orlando, like Gainesville, that central Florida peninsula area where the center of that low pressure system is moving over, will have the best severe potential into your Saturday. So moderate risk for you guys, low for Jacksonville and Miami. Now for tornadoes, it's going to be a pretty similar risk area and risk levels for aforementioned reasons, but again, anywhere from the Florida-Georgia border all the way down to the southern coast of Florida could see tornado potential with that system into tomorrow. Then it's all going to track off into the East Coast. There it goes on your Sunday. Very rainy, in addition to the severe potential. Very rainy across Georgia, the Carolinas, Virginia, into your afternoon. Now the severe potential should mostly move off the coast by the early afternoon hours, so that's some good news. It's going to be a quick turnaround on that severe storm risk for you guys on the East Coast through your Sunday and Monday. But it is something to look out for, so we'll keep you updated. There's your look-ahead forecast for your Sunday. It's going to run pretty much from the Florida East Coast all the way up into the coastal Carolinas, and it's going to be for wind and tornadoes once again. Now, if you're not in Florida or on the East Coast, here's your temperatures into the weekend. Friday should be pretty nice through the plains, and again, I'm a cooler weather gal, so I think that's nice, but again, it's going to be relative, but sitting in the 50s in Oklahoma City, Dallas, Houston, maybe a little warmer. And then if you're in the Front Range, chillier. Now we're sitting in and around freezing, warming up into the 40s throughout the day. And then Minneapolis, Chicago, the Midwest area, also a little cooler and nice and warm for us down in the southeast once that line moves out of the way. So now into next week. All right, we'll have that low moving off the East Coast, should be out of our neck of the woods by the end of the day on Sunday. Then into midweek next week. Now we have, I'll draw it for you on the screen here, we have this high pressure zone setting up over the southeast, and we have two zones of low pressure, one on the west coast and one moving out on the east coast. So with all of those, we're going to have kind of a break in our severe weather through the midweek of next week. Now into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, now we'll start to see that low from the west starting to move in, and out ahead of that could potentially see some rain, and of course it's pretty far out, so we have to keep our eye out for storms in the southern plains by the end of the week next week. So watching all that, here's your extended rain outlook for the U.S. Really dry as a bone across a lot of the eastern states and the northern states there. And with that low moving in from the west coast, you could see a little bit more rain than you're used to for this time of year. Then for temperatures, it's hot, relatively. Again, this is all going to be compared to how it usually would feel this time of year. So, you know, if it's usually 30 degrees in your area and it's 33 degrees, you're going to be in the red. But, you know, relatively warmer for next week for most of the nation than you would get for this time of year, particularly for the North Plains, just with that ridging set up and lack of low pressure systems, all sorts of weather stuff. But now, leaving you guys with the #1 event of 2023. So this, you know, we're hail trace, we talk a lot about hailstorms. This one's interesting because this is actually a wind event that took the cake for #1 in 2023, causing the most damage. So all those blue swaths on the map there, those are all our wind swaths. And again, we do this all live, 24/7. So we have a team of meteorologists that maps every single severe thunderstorm live across the nation. So we were watching this, mapping some very strong winds, particularly across the Dallas-Fort Worth metro with that swath there, got up to 80 mile-an-hour gusts there. And we did have one hail swath that dropped a very high volume of golf ball-sized stones, and that can do some damage as well. But wind and tornadoes really took the cake on this event. So here's our stats. Storms had a triple point setup. So that's basically just when a cold front meets a dry line and you get every unstable factor kind of interacting with each other. And so storms blew up there and developed along the cold front, raced off to the east, and became a pretty prolific wind and tornado producer as it did that. So got some hail damage from that swath that did that large volume of golf balls, and we got some large hail in like the San Antonio area as well, up in the northeast corner of Oklahoma. So there was some hail, but main impacts, again, tornadoes, high winds. So 80-mile-an-hour gusts in the DFW metro area. Also got some 80s through Kentucky, through parts of Tennessee. And, you know, if you're anywhere in any of those blue blobs there, you saw severe winds from this system. And you can't discount those tornadoes either. So based on NOAA's reports and all sorts of storm reports, there were roofs that had extensive damage, lots of roof damage reports, down trees, down fences, power lines down, agriculture damage, all sorts of stuff messed up from those high winds. You cannot discount the power of high winds tracking across, you know, a lot of the U.S. here. Lots of folks seeing impacts from these wind swaths. So now this is hail damage. This was a lot in Texas. That broken window there is from Sanger. But yeah, vehicles damaged, homes damaged from hail, but primarily, again, high winds and tornadoes caused $5.9 billion in damage from all that wind. So just goes to show, once again, you can't discount the power of some high winds. So that's our top 10 severe weather systems of 2023. Again, if you haven't caught the other 9, go ahead and check those out. We had a ton, guys. Oklahoma City, Denver, Dallas, Chicago, lots of major metro areas seeing very impactful hail, wind, and tornado events. 2023 was insane for severe weather. We'll see what 2024 has to hold. So if you guys want to follow us, go ahead and get us on the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and did I say Twitter? Twitter/X, the app formerly known as X. No, Twitter. I'm wrong on that. Anyway, we're at Hail Trace on everything, so it's easy to find us. Go ahead and hit See First on Facebook so you never miss a live video, and smash that subscribe button everywhere else. And then if you want to get in contact with us, go ahead and scan that QR code up above in the banner there. That'll get you access. We'll go ahead and sign you up for a plan. And again, that's all for our severe weather mapping products, forensic reports, all sorts of good weather data info. So if you guys have any questions on that, give us a call at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com or check out hailtrace.com for more details. And you guys have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday with more weather updates. But for now, I'm meteorologist Andrea Myers. Thanks for watching.